From the quiet to the crazy, all the high tide, all the level. If it's tears, if it's dancing in a thrift store, how you turn all this living into something worthwhile. Every single heartbeat, every breath we get to do, every moment to moment is a blessing spent with you.
And action.
What up, y'all? Welcome to Chapter 2 of Moment to Moment, the Newlywed podcast with Rod and Natasha. I am your host, Rod.
And I am your host, Natasha.
I'm the husband, and she is...
I am the wife.
Yep, she's the bride.
The one and only.
One and only. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you missed the first chapter, our podcast is basically, we're just telling our life story. And in hopes that it can help somebody. We've been married now 7 months.
7 months. Yay.
7 months. August 15th, 2025. And we've experienced a lot in this short time. So we feel like the purpose of our union is to help other people. You know, what good are you if you don't help somebody else? Well, we are not in any way relationship gurus or marriage gurus. We haven't been married long enough, so this is not what that is. If you come in our podcast to listen to get some help, wrong podcast. We hope that you are helped by our experience, not by necessarily
our advice.
Yeah. We're not here to instruct people on what you need to do in marriage. If you missed the first chapter, I failed at it twice. And
This is my first one.
It's our first time, so
I'm learning every day.
Yeah, and as am I. I'm learning to be married to her every day, and so that's what we're here for, and we welcome y'all. Chapter 2, we call it Bad Timing, and it is the second part of our relationship story.
It's fun. It's so fun.
It is fun, but it's also
it's like ooh.
It's kind of triggering though to look back when we. Yeah. My wife is really good at dates. I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. But she
at my job probably.
Is it?
My career. I have to keep dates. I have to have memories of meetings scheduled, and things coming up, and things had.
But we both have really bad memories.
Yes.
But somehow or another, dates. She doesn't forget dates. So we started communicating in Facebook when?
Yes, in June of 2021.
Yeah, June of 2021. I saw her.
You messaged me before June. I responded in June.
Okay. So I saw. I don't even know. I'm trying to think. Did I intentionally look you up? Because all the years I've been on Facebook and all the years that you've been on Facebook, we never saw each other.
No,
and so
never.
I don't know if I intentionally looked her up because I was, as I do, look for people. You reminded of people because I honestly forgot about her because she didn't want me in high school. Ain't no point in me thinking about her now. 20 years later. But no, I saw her and I was like, hey, what's up? How you been? And, she didn't respond. I don't think you...
Got a response, but it wasn't me.
I forgot about that. So, y'all, listen. The basis of this...
we have it's just a great story.
Yeah, the basis of our podcast is transparency. So we're going to be open with a lot of everything. It's going to be a lot of truth. Some things might be hard for some people to hear, and some things will be very hard for us to say.
Yes.
But what's the point in having a relationship or a podcast or even trying to help somebody in or out of the church if you can't be real, with who you are, where you've been at. So I started liking a lot of her pictures, and that ticked somebody off. I didn't know if she had a guy, but I wasn't even hearting them for that reason because I was in a relationship. So this was my friend. We was never like anything. She never showed any romantic interest in me in high school. And so I just hadn't seen her in, some 15, 20 years almost. And so I just went on, just probably trying to get her attention, because she hadn't responded.
Yeah.
And so I didn't go like and go on a liking spree, but I was,
A liking spree.
some people just
Heart everything.
Yeah. So no, I wasn't one of those guys by any means, but
Yeah. And so then in June, I responded to your message, and I think it just was like responding to the hey, and we kind of just started talking from there, sharing what's happening in our lives currently, just all of those things. We just started to build a friendship, just getting to know each other again after high school.
Yeah.
After being so long, what was that? Like, we graduated in
2000.
2000, and then that was 2021. So it's a lot of
Yeah,
years.
a lot of years. Yeah, 21. Sheesh. 21 years.
21 years.
We're just beginning to catch up, right?
Yeah, I received them well. A lot of times, I was a dater. So, like, guys coming into my inbox or old friends and different things like that. Entertaining that is just kind of like here or there. But I remembered him just being him. I don't know. It was just, I don't know why. I don't know what happens to how you. Let me back up. It was God. I know that.
Yeah.
Which made
We know it now.
Yeah, we know it now. Which made it so comfortable. I believe made that space comfortable enough for me to start engaging.
Because I would have thought you were a jerk. I would have thought you were
Yeah,
one of those pretty stuck-up snobs.
everybody used to say that
Just,
because I was quiet. Again, I had a fear of people, and so I was quiet. I don't know.
I'm too good for your tongue.
Well, no, I was. I was.
She was nice. She was nice.
Yeah,
She
I
was
was
always
nice and
to me.
quiet. Just, I don't know. You just scared of what people will say or whatever. So you just if you say nothing, then you're good.
Right.
And so,
Or you're stuck up.
or but you're not
Perception.
Perception. Yes.
You're perceived as stuck up.
Yes.
So, yeah, we started catching up, and then I'm not really sure how we exchanged. I think you gave me your number first.
I think I did.
And I was like really surprised. I was like, oh snap, I got her number. And so,
It's something about Messenger. Like in messaging and
right.
Messenger, it's just easy. It seems easier to have the phone number.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, depending on who it is,
I guess.
Yeah. And so we ended up communicating and catching up, where we've been past and what our current situations was. I think by the time, I don't know where you were in your situation by the time we actually started talking on the phone.
At the end.
Yeah.
Well, semi.
Right. And so it was, I know for her though, it was always like she still wasn't like into me, right? She still wasn't like, it wasn't like she wanted to date me. And I didn't hit her up for that purpose either. I had a girlfriend and things were what they were. It was cool. It wasn't, violent or toxic or anything like that. It's just, it's just what it was. And so I wasn't coming at her trying to, holler at her, trying to cheat or on anything like that. But our conversation really began to develop into something. I started getting to know her, and like as an adult, and then it's different. It's different as an adult. And I remember specifically having conversations with you that
We're uncomfortable.
well, yeah, because you used to, they were uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. She had some conversations with me about her life and her journey and the different things. And one thing that my early bride prior to her becoming my bride, she was going through a lot. And so she never seemed to be like really happy. Like she never seemed to be like everything was like really heavy. Like all of her conversations was really heavy. And she wasn't like a complainer, but she was just really going through a lot in her current situation. And me being the helper I am, you know, I conversed with her about don't cross your legs like that. That really kind of
Oh, goodness.
just my bad. Yeah, so it's funny because even though she was still beautiful, I remember getting off the phone and just thinking to myself because we started spending a lot of time talking, a lot of conversations, a lot of weekends and different things like that.
Just talking.
Just talking, like it
Not
wasn't
seeing
no
each other,
flirting,
but
right,
just
right, and we wasn't
just over
flirting,
the
like there was
phone.
no
Yeah.
because I could tell she didn't really like me like that. You know, she was too busy with her crazy world.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had a girlfriend, and so I wasn't even on that. And I could tell by I could tell by everything that was going on with you.
Yeah.
I wasn't attracted to that. Like I didn't want any parts of everything that you had going on. So I was like, even if it thought in my mind, I wonder if I could, if this situation don't work out or whatever. And that's in fairness, that's a wrong place to be, to even be considering if I could talk to her while
Yeah.
I got
Yeah, you
somebody.
have someone.
Right, right. That's a wrong place to be. But I'm being transparent, and so it was never. It was never like I never hit on her. She never hit on me. It was never. But I knew after 3 conversations, that I was like, she got a lot.
There was a lot. Wow. I was coming off of just in that time of that first connection with him. I was coming off of a a good size conflict with my then partner, where I had decided that, Lord, I'm gonna need you to help me with this because I don't have enough muscle to get out of it. My partner was a heavy drinker. And again, like we explained in chapter 1, he had a lot of characters that I was very familiar with in my childhood. And so, but I started to be just turned off by those things, and but not knowing how to detach from it, not knowing how to stand up for myself by myself, just really not knowing where to go. And I had a moment with the Lord before reconnecting with Him, in a hotel room, in the bathtub, with a glass of wine, saying, I know that's contradicting, but saying,
What's contradicting?
being with the Lord with a glass of wine,
It's not contradicting.
but saying to Him,
You know how many people smoke weed and talk to God at the
I
same
know,
time?
yeah, that's true, I guess. Just that I need help. I need help out of this. Please help me out of this because I can't do it by myself. And I, at that time, didn't have a real
What
relationship.
was it that you couldn't do when you
I
said I
couldn't
can't
get up
detach?
and leave to detach. I couldn't say, this is no more. Like, I don't want this type of relationship anymore. I'm going to pick up my kids and leave, and then really and truly be gone. I didn't know how to do that. And so asking the Lord for that, and then maybe a week or two after that, connecting with you, and it was almost like He answered right away. I didn't see it as that, of course.
Right.
Then again, I didn't really have a relationship with Him. I knew He was swirling around me. You kind of go in church and you do your Sunday thing, but I didn't have a relationship with God at all. So hindsight, He answered pretty quickly with my husband here now. Building that friendship with Him over just literally over the phone, through text messaging for 3 months
Yeah.
before we kind of saw each other in person. For 3 months, just kind of built this like foundation of just like beginning to accept my world, the things about me, and seeing that there's more, that there's something brighter out there that that I'm attracted to, and I want to go. I want to see how can I go get that.
She said, "How can she go get me?" You hear that?
Yes,
I-
I
I
said,
was- I
how
was-
can I
I
go
was-
get him?
honestly, I don't even really think. Honestly,
Yes.
I don't think it was. How can you go get me?
Right.
I think
It's
it was more like you said, you saw something else that you weren't accustomed to. Because again, you were still using the capacity that you had for your dad and thinking, this is okay.
This is what life is going to
This
be.
is right for me. And so seeing something different, and when I say something different, don't get that confused with better.
Right.
I got plenty of faults, but we are different, everybody's different. And so that made you say, I can do better
Yeah,
for
like there's
myself.
like, do I have more in me than this? Like, can I see something else? Can I begin to walk forward in a life that is detached from everyone? Really, everyone that had anything to do with who I was in the moment.
Right.
Because I think I was in a place of yearning for something better, something new, something different. In 2021, I don't know how old was I? I don't,
It was 5 years ago. So
yeah.
that
So
seems like such a
yeah, it
long
seems like
time
so
ago.
long. And so I'm
We were 40.
entering,
Or no, we weren't 40.
I'm
We were-
entering 40, entering that time, or edging towards it, and like life is just still like this,
Yeah,
like
I'm still here.
I'm still right here,
Right.
and you're in that moment looking back, hindsight, you're like, I am still here, like,
Yeah.
and and 40's coming, and my kids are still growing, and my kids are getting older,
And you look around, you look at your
Yeah.
surroundings. When not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but when 40s is different, and so when they hit, I know I went through that period of time. Like I'm almost 40 years old, and I have nothing to show for it. What have I done?
right.
What do I have that? What have I accomplished?
Yeah.
Have I done anything? What have I done with my life?
Yeah. I remember my 40th birthday in my townhome. I had left the person I was with and moved before meeting my husband in person after we reconnected over the phone. And I remember turning 40 in that October. And it was just like, what's next? Like, what are we doing? I was a student at the time, earning my master's in education, but still it was just like that. It's almost like that wasn't enough. Like it wasn't it wasn't quenching enough.
Right.
Yeah, like for wherever I was, or whatever was knocking at my door, it just wasn't quenching enough to earn that master's and say, okay, now I can I can stand up and for myself,
Be an adult.
be a man, like
Don't be a man, but-
but just like I can stand up and do
Be an
this.
adult.
Yeah, and it just I don't know what it was, and so being able to have a friend walk next to me who truly cared, I could feel that from the start, who truly cared about me as a person, the things that I was carrying, and the, I guess, the hardness of my life, what that sounded like. Even though he couldn't figure it out, even though he wasn't attracted to it, was still, he never came off as, I guess like he felt like, oh, that's too much for me. Like he never presented that. It was, he's always been very, careful with me. I don't know. Again, my God in heaven, my Father in heaven. But he's always. I believed that the Lord used him to pick me up and get me started on that, becoming the person that he put me on earth to be. And so I just, there was a song that I would always listen to. It was called Walking Shoes, by, can I say that? Can I say that? Oh, it was called Walking Shoes by Molly Music. I would just listen to it over and over, and it's just about getting your shoe, just going forward no matter what's happening, because the Lord is there.
Yeah.
And so just every day, just put your shoes on and go. And hindsight, looking back at those walking shoes, I've walked some miles since my 40th birthday.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I get emotional every time I think about it. Just the woman that I was, I probably should one day sit and write her a letter at that 40-year-old age. Because she had no idea what she was getting ready to do. She just didn't know in her relationship with the Lord was going to, she had no idea how far he was going to take her in such a short time.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Yeah. That's yeah, those were interesting times, and I have to be, honest about what God did in my life through you. I was coming off of being divorced the second time. I think when we reconnected, I had been divorced now 9 years, I think. And that last marriage just really did me in. There was infidelity involved. That was probably the biggest thing, not on my part, on her part. And that really crushed like everything in me. And we didn't work it out. Go into that later. That's not part of this chapter, but that's really not a part of the story. But it was because of that, I'll go ahead and say this. I went through a period of time where I put God in the back seat. Matter of fact, I probably put him out the car, because I had been walking with God since I turned 19. I was in a car accident my senior year, and I lost two of my best friends. And it was at that time the Holy Spirit spoke to me through a number of people in regards to my purpose. Not really giving me any details, but there was a reason why I was still here. And so I straightened up, started flying right, and got married a few years later. And I knew I shouldn't have married her. And y'all, listen, if you have praying parents, y'all.
Listen to your praying parents.
If you have praying parents, if you have watched them,
take their wisdom.
If you have watched them, and I don't mean shucking and jiving parents, I mean seriously praying parents and walking out their life with Christ. They're walking this out every day. Listen to them. They told me not to marry the first one. They told me not to marry the second one. But I knew it all, and they knew nothing. And in any case, it didn't pan out. It didn't pan out very well. So that second marriage, it really did me in. And I had prayed about the second marriage. I prayed about it harder than I prayed about the first one, because the second one actually had kids, and I was bringing my two daughters into my second marriage, and so I was expecting God to make it work, right? But it's more than a notion to make it work. It takes two. It takes two people to make it work. And so when it didn't work, I had prayed, before I married her. I said, God, if she's not for me, take her away. She's not from here. She wasn't born here. So I was like, don't kill her, but deport her. Just get her away, because I can't make this decision on my own. You know that. You know how I am with love and feelings and all of that other stuff. So that was me, and I expected him to intervene before I married this young lady, and he didn't. Well, he was doing it through the counsel of my parents that I chose not to listen to because they don't know what they're talking about. And so, in any
Parents
case,
are amazing.
they really are. I had to vouch for that.
They're great.
And so, I, you make decisions and you suffer the consequences of those decisions, whatever they are. And so, but I blame God for it. I blame God for not the failure, but I blamed him for letting me hurt. I'm supposed to be walking with him. God, I've been walking with you. I'm in the church. I'm playing. I ain't been in the clubs. I had never been to a club. I didn't drink. I wasn't smoking. I wasn't cussing. I wasn't cheating. I wasn't doing none of these. I was following God. And so the fact that this would happen in my marriage, just it was all wrong. And so when I got out of that marriage, I said, God, you get in the back seat. I'm going to drive because you don't know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I said, matter of fact, I pulled off, get out. and God's a gentleman. He's like, okay. You want to drive by
out the car?
Yeah. He's like, you want to? Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the stop. I'll see you down the road, So at this point in time, I'm dating another lady, and we're going on 5 years. We were going on 5 years. Me and this young lady, we were going on 5 years. I had already told her I wasn't trying to get married, no time soon. I needed to get my time back. I told myself I was going to take 10 years.
He told himself.
Yeah, I did. I told myself.
That's what we do.
Ain't got nobody else to talk to. So I told myself, I'm going to give myself 10 years from the time that I was divorced. And so when I started talking to her, she was in a place of just despair. And I know that God put things inside of me, even if I didn't want him in the car. Mm. I knew he had put things in me before he even got in the car. Mm. He gave me things, and he was supposed to be in the car, and he was supposed to drive me to the destination where I was going to use these things. Yeah. And so, but I didn't, again, I was upset at him. So, I'm going to drive this car by myself because you messed up. And so, but as I began to speak to her, something like began to happen on the inside of me. It started making me think different, making me feel different. I remember sharing some things with her, and one of the things that I shared is I hadn't had a conversation on this level, with somebody in this manner, using the things that God gave me to help her and to minister to her, or to to walk her through these moments. I hadn't had that practice because me and the young lady I was dating, we just didn't talk very much. We didn't communicate a whole lot, and so something was stirring up. Like, she's broken, and something began stirring up in me that this help, this
healing
help.
You.
Yeah, healing us both. Yeah. God was healing me through helping her heal. And so I enjoyed these conversations, and they would be like hours long. It'd be like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. My girlfriend, she in the house, she upstairs, knocked out. That was part of the problem because she don't even know I'm not there. we were being transparent.
Yes.
And so, again, it wasn't on no romantic anything. It wasn't on anything like that. Like, I didn't hit on her. I didn't tell her I think you so beautiful. I didn't try no nothing with her. And she didn't do nothing like that to me. It was just, we were just connecting, and God was doing what he was doing in that connection. And so while she mentions her road to the cross, that's what her road looked like. Mine was on the other side. He was drawing me back to him, by stirring up those things he had put on the inside of me. And so it felt really, really good. It felt really, really good to be in that space. And I knew I couldn't date her, right? Right. I knew I could. I knew I didn't want no parts of it. I don't want no part of that life. But I'll be your friend and I'll help you. You know, you can call me anytime you want to. And so, yeah, but from there,
it just kept going.
yeah,
It was not until our friendship kept going. It just, you're doing your life, I'm doing my life. I graduated with my master's that March of 22. 'Cause you were talking about dates. That March of
yeah, sure.
22. And then it's funny, after graduating, I took some time off to organize my resume, prepare myself to start applying for positions. And we're still just kind of navigating this friendship, speaking here and there, kind of some space or whatever. But I remember he visited one day.
Yeah, because you asked me to.
Yeah, yeah.
But is that the first place, or did we go to?
I don't know. I'm just going to speak about the day
Okay,
that I
go ahead.
actually started having feelings for
Okay,
you.
okay, go ahead.
So we had seen each other in person a couple of times before this moment that I'm going to speak about. But I started to have feelings for him in that May of 22 time. Like, just like, oh, okay, something's here. Something, something is there. I don't know what that is. Like, don't know how to do that because he's still wrapped up, and I honestly left my partner, but we were still very attached.
Yeah.
No, I won't use the word connected.
Okay.
We were very attached still in our toxic ways and things like that. So it was like this new thing is like knocking at the door, but I'm still wrapped up. He's still wrapped up. And so we just kept I don't know, there were times where we weren't speaking at all, and then there were times where we were reconnecting, and just working through this, whatever was happening. Do you want to tell them about our first time trying? You want to back up a little bit?
Let's back up a little bit. So I ended my relationship with my then partner, and now I'm free to feel. I'm free to acknowledge. I'm free to, because over this time we started, and I did, mind you, I didn't leave her for her. I don't ever believe that. That's not a smart thing at all. But
You had been with her 5 years.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
just starting to realize what's next
Yeah,
in your
right.
situation.
Right, we had already been together.
How do
5
we
years.
move forward?
Yeah, and so it was just like I think she was a good person, but she wasn't a good person for me. And so it was time to go. And so during that time, we started communicating, and we met up a couple of times, and we got to see each other, in person. No, we saw each other in person before. I forgot about that. We decided to meet up one other time while I was still in my relationship, and
He came to my house, and this was our first time meeting each other, seeing each other since high school. 21 years of not seeing each other. One evening he came over, and this day was a hard day for me.
Yeah, that's the reason why it even happened.
Yeah.
Because normally I don't believe that she would ask me to do that. With me being in the situation that I was in, I don't believe she would ask me to do that. And it wasn't on no goofy stuff.
No, it was, I needed some emotional support. Like, it was the weekend I moved out, or I separated from my partner. I moved out, and was like scared, and because it was like in my mind I knew that I wasn't going to be strong enough to stay away, but I really wanted to stay away.
That's on me.
Yeah. And so I was really scared. But that day specifically, I had walked out, or I had went back to grab more things, to finish moving. And my partner had already had another person there. And I saw that, like I saw it with my eyes, and I don't know. It's like, you're done. right? You're done with the person.
I'm done with you, but you
Yeah, you're done with the person.
can't be done with me.
And you want that person to respect that. And I think part of that respect is understanding that you can't like move on in my face. Sounds really silly. Sounds so silly, but that's women. Come on, ladies. Like, come on. That's what we do, right? That's just.
I can be done with you, but you can't be done with me.
And unfortunately, we hit those moments, and it's okay, as long as we back out and learn, right? And so I had a hard day. I saw that moment, and it ripped me up, and I don't know why, because I was done, right? And so I asked him over. I was crying. You know, we were trying to have a conversation on the phone, but I'm just crying, emotional. And he comes over, and so he gets out of the car, and we're walking up to each other for the first time after 20 years of seeing each other.
Of not seeing each other.
Of not seeing each other, sorry. And I was just like, he still looks the same from high school, even though he was bald, you know, like, even though you look different, you're still the same. And so it was just, I don't know, it was something about that just kind of took that meeting and that safety that he came with, took some of the load off that night for me to be able to open up a little more just about where I was. We got to take a walk.
Yeah.
We walked a lot in our friendship, like verbally, physically. We walked a lot in our friendship, which I love. I just think that we have the best foundation. Friendship is everything.
It is.
And I didn't know that, though.
Is.
I didn't know prior to him that friendship was everything.
Yeah. It's crazy that you say that, because this might be the first relationship that I've ever gotten into that wasn't the intention.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of times you go on dating apps, you go on Facebook dating, you go on, you know, whatever it is that you go on, and you go there with the intention to meet a mate. You know, for whatever purpose you want to meet them, and then it turns into something because it either worked or it didn't work.
Yeah.
But ours grew again organically from just communicating and being there for each other, and more so me for her, because my life was fun. It was a period. It was a period that my life wasn't fun, and she stepped up and she was like, "Yeah, I don't think you want that," you know. And I was like, "How dare you?" You know, you can't tell me that. But it grew organically, like you said. And so she came by my place, and we chilled. We watched a movie. You know, it wasn't no goofiness and nothing like that. And what's funny is, even when she was there, I have a picture.
Oh yeah.
I have a picture of her because I took my camera out. I said, "Can I snap a picture of you?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I took it, and like everything was on her face. Like she was a very, I don't know. It was a lot of anger. She was just not a happy individual. She just wasn't happy, and she just was.
Here I thought I was masking it well, because of my job. I have to be extroverted, you know, and I felt like I was really good. I felt like I was really good at holding it all together, presenting myself as having it all together, but life outside of work was chaotic and toxic and hurtful and just draining. It's so funny how we can do that. Every day at the end of my shift, I'd walk out the door, I'd get in the car, and life would punch me in the face. I would be reminded immediately what I'm driving home to. The unknown, not knowing, can't stand up for yourself, can't say this, don't know this, you know, who are you, where are you going, you know, all of those things would hit me in the face. And it just wasn't until, I don't know, our journey just started waking that stuff up. And I started discovering, like, there is so much more
Yeah.
to me, just like to me.
Oh, right.
But the life around me, there's even more. You like, but then like, still, how do you get that? How do you go get it?
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so she was, again, trying to mask it. I'm happy because now I'm actually, I'm single,
Yeah.
and I'm actually, enjoying what is happening. I'm like, man, this is my old high school crush. I'm finally cool enough to for her to give me some time on a personal,
Yeah.
non-friendship level. And she's still, so it's like buried with junk. And so,
I had lots of luggage like every day.
she was
I
scared.
was
She
carrying
was
lots
Erica
of luggage.
Badu,
Man, that
bag
lady for sure.
And so, I remember one time I was in the bathroom, and we were talking, and she was like, "Yeah, I think no." She sent me I think you sent me a text and said, "Hey, I just, I think we just should just be friends. It's
I
just."
remember that text. That's
And I was, because it came out of nowhere, like it came like.
I think we were only probably 30 days,
Yeah.
maybe
30
into
days
that
into talking.
try,
Yeah.
that
And
first
that
try.
was January of and it floored me because I was like, no, this is no, we're doing this, and she was like, no, I think we should just be friends. And it didn't add up, but at the same time I trusted her, and so but I knew that, like, how do we was you faking, this whole time? Was you. And so I'm like, so I was very upset. I don't think she knew that I was upset, but I kept asking her. I kept asking you what was what was the problem, because I actually called, and she was like, I just want to be friends again. I mean, I have the right to say I want to be friends. I was like, but what is it? What did I do? You said nothing. I just
Yeah.
want. And,
I I remember typing out the text. Actually, I remember it was pretty lengthy. Now that you bring it back to my memory, it's funny that it comes back. I remember writing it. I remember sending it, and I remember your response being kind of lengthy as well. But I used to have this thing, like I used to get so frustrated that I couldn't just be friends with a guy. Like I couldn't just. I don't know why. It was just. I think because guys just always liked me, and I guess that became exhausting because they wouldn't do anything with it, like anything serious with it. They were just the type of relationships I just had. It's just like it's exhausting. And so I think I was just at a point where this guy is really great. He's my friend. Like we've built this friendship, and I'm so excited about the friendship we have. Like I don't want that part to go away, right? Because we're trying to have a relationship. And I think that in that moment, that attempt was to try and hang on to this friendship, like control our time and friendship, I guess. Now that I'm looking back. And so me saying, hey, can we just be friends? I think that's what that was.
but wasn't it all? When you still, because at this time you were still connected.
I'm
not
still
connected,
attached. I was
Right,
still
right.
attached. So there was a lot in there. I was still hurt. I was still attached. I was still toxic. I was still being dishonest about where I was. I was still being
Indecisive,
manipulative. I was
yeah.
still indecisive. I was still interested in new life. I was still interested in what else
Yeah.
or what he has.
Right.
Like I was all these
It was
places.
a smorgasbord, right.
If you make the list, you're like, how are you living? How are you standing up
Right.
every day? You know what I mean? So I was there, and it was just, I cannot even, today, the person that I am, I can't imagine having all those things. That's so funny to say. That's so funny to say. But I guess I just found not wanting to lose. Because relationships, in my experience, have always been hard, have always been. I didn't grow up with true love, right? I grew up with people saying I love you and it looking like cursing you out, or it looks like hitting you, or it looks like not providing for you, leaving you hungry, you don't have. It looked like lack. And so there's this new person, there's this new guy who comes with this totally different world. But friendship is and connection was what my prayer in that season was. I was looking for connection, like finding people who care about me, who truly want to see me do well. I was praying for that. And it's funny because I remember searching for it, like in different things. Like I would go to Bible studies at church and just like looking for it, and so I just didn't want to lose that. And so I think it wasn't fully that. It was probably more so that I was attached and just terrified and still not knowing how to detach. But I think there was a good amount of I just want this friendship that we have, and please don't ever let me go.
And it was what it was. Like I said, I was upset, but because I think what upset me is that she wasn't coming with an explanation.
Right.
Like she was not. You weren't coming with a why.
Right.
It was just always, I should have the right to choose.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can just decide to be friends. And so I'm one of those people. I'm an extremely communicative person. A lot of times I over communicate. Communication for me is like the solvent of a puzzle, right? If one and one don't make two, then we got to communicate this. You have to explain this to me until it does. And if I can't get to two, then it's going to wreck my brain. And so I had no peace about it, which was the source of my frustration with you. It was because I had no answer.
Yeah.
And so
and I couldn't really.
And so
Unfortunately.
I was just like, fine, whatever. Now I'm back to, total 1,000% single land. I started getting really serious about my business before I broke up, before I left the relationship I was in. And I had all these plans and different decisions that I wanted to make. And after, we wasn't talking no more, I was like, man, I need to buckle down, leave these women alone, man. I need to get focused on my business. And so, needless to say, I said, you know what? But again, me being me, just missing being with somebody, missing having those moments and different things like that. Because the relationship I had, it wasn't a bad relationship. It was very peaceful. But I understand that a lot of times it was peaceful because we didn't communicate. And so I decided I want to move forward with my life and different things like that. And I was like, I always wanted to find my partner before I became anything. I've always felt, in myself that I would be successful. I've always believed that. And that's probably because of my parents. I've always felt that success was within my reach. And so I also understood, though, I wanted my partner to be one that came from the gutter with me, because finding somebody after you're successful, that's easy. At least, finding somebody that would want to be with you is easy. Whether they're there for the right reasons is something entirely different, which is what I didn't want to come against. So I got on the phone with my ex a couple months later. We started, just communicating, because she didn't want to break up, but I felt like it was time, because I was like, man, it's 5 years. But I knew that if I start this relationship again, like we 5 years in, what we doing, By this time, I'm now 7 years out of my marriage, and so I went back and, did the old cereal box, And truth be told, I knew that she wasn't the one for me, but I knew she would work. Because by this time I'm focused on my business. I'm not even focused on what I wasn't getting from her. Because there was a lot of things that I wasn't getting from her in that relationship, which is the reason why I'm, 3 o'clock in the morning on the phone with, my new friend here. It was just, it was a lot. It was a lot of things that I wasn't getting that I needed. But I stayed around longer than I should have to, for a lot of different reasons. One, she had children, and so I had become a father figure in their life, and that wasn't something that I wanted to just tear apart easily. And so I went back and I proposed to her. And me and her, we had after we stopped communicating when she just wanted to be friends. I don't want to be her friend no more. You know,
Guys can't just be friends.
we can just be friends, but you gotta, you gotta be open. You gotta be honest.
Right,
You gotta
right.
tell me, what the deal is.
I told him that he shouldn't
Yes.
settle.
Well, no. So what happened is I moved back in with her. I proposed to her, and we're good. And I don't remember who hit who first.
Yeah, I don't know.
It more than likely was you because I was done with you. And so I said, yeah, I'm getting married, by the way, And he was like, to who? And I said, my ex. This is where I'm at. And she was like, okay. And she was like, and it was like nothing for her. The text was like quiet for a second. And she said, can I say something? I was like, yeah, go ahead. She said, I don't think, what did you say?
I don't think you should settle.
Yeah.
You're not getting what you want in this relationship, so why would you marry it?
And I was like, who are you? I was like, who are you to tell me?
True. Very true statement, because where was I?
Right.
Dishonest, hurting,
Right.
not knowing where I'm going,
All
all the
the
things.
places.
Marriage is not a thing that's even close to my brain.
And so
However, he was special.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, why would you settle for that?
And I'm thinking, here's the thing I'm thinking. I'm like, look, don't try to save me for yourself when you didn't want me. You know what I'm saying? You that's what I thought it was. I didn't think it was coming from a friendship place. I thought it was coming from you back now,
Right.
and now you feel I'm about to be off the market, so you trying to say, no, you don't want that, don't.
No.
And I was like, man, I'm not having that. And so, long story short, we were engaged for like 2 months or something like that, and it turned out that she wasn't ready for marriage. And so I'm like, man, we 6 months. We
And
broke.
did she back out or you?
Oh, she did.
She backed out.
Well, she over a series of events, I told her, I don't think you're really ready for this. And she was like, I think you're right. And so she was like, what do we do? Where do we go from here? It's like, we don't go anywhere. I was like, we've been together 6 years. Where else is there to go? I want to keep doing this, And so that was it. We broke up.
So to keep ourselves in line with our stories and our chapters, in this moment, I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
What have you learned through acceptance in relationships?
Break that down a little bit more.
Okay. What have you learned about yourself in knowing who you are, what you need, what you deserve, or what you can handle?
Well, you're talking to two different people because you're talking to the then me and you're talking to the me now. And so I've learned that settling is never good. It's never going to work out. It's never going to work out because those things that are important to you, to those things that are vital to your well-being as a person, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physically, sexually, all of those things that are vital to you, it's just that, it's vital. And anything that's vital is the thing that keeps the pulse, the thing that keeps the heartbeat of you. If you have to wait and get one that speaks to those things. Granted, there's nobody perfect and there's nobody that's going to hit all the things. I believe God designed us with a God-shaped hole in our human hearts that only He can fill. So I'm not saying to try to find somebody that can fill that hole, because they never will. But the person that speaks to those vital pieces and not only speaks to it, but makes attempts always to grow with you. I know I know for
That's
me,
for sure.
one of the things I said in chapter 1 was I enjoy my wife. I'm thankful for my wife wanting to be my wife. Like, and what wanting to be my wife means is she tries. Like you're always trying. Like you're always, even in the spaces where you're not comfortable, right? Even in the spaces where
Like
you,
this one.
even in the spaces where you have no experience,
Yeah.
when you don't try, then you don't want to be with the person. When you don't relinquish yourself, or you don't eliminate your ideas or your thoughts to make an attempt, to stretch and be stretched. Yeah, that's not showing that you want to be with the person.
Right.
How about yourself?
I think for me, I would say probably being okay that I'm not going to be everybody's thing. That I'm not, that I have a specific set of skills and characteristics that don't fit with
Yeah,
every.
she's
Sorry,
she's corny, like
I'm so
super
cheesy,
corny. So
and so I have to
it's
be
gonna
okay that
come out.
that's not for everyone.
It's-
But no, I did learn throughout our friendship. There were things that he was uncomfortable with, but I had to say, I had to give, I had to be okay with letting some things go. I just had to be okay with what you may think about this thing, if you may doubt it. I just had to be okay with those things as we were navigating. And so today Natasha is doing well with that. Has kind of come to terms with accepting herself as herself, who she is today, who she even was yesterday, last year, years from who she was as a child,
yeah.
being okay with all of those different phases of me, just being okay with it, being okay with where I come from, allowing that to just be what it is, because there is, I have no control over it, right? And so just letting it be what it is,
Yeah. And you can't change it,
right?
right?
And I can't change it.
And the thing about it is wherever you come from, God had a purpose for that too.
Right. Yeah.
It's our roadmaps are different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But some of the things that you went through,
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably be dead by now. And some of the things that I went through, whatever they might be, you would not be the person that you are today, and you wouldn't have all that you have
Yeah.
today if
And I
you
would
didn't live
say,
my life.
sorry,
No.
I would say this to women, like, just because there's so much of us that we give out every day. If we're moms, if we're leaders, or if we're spiritual leaders, whatever it is that we are and we're doing, our husbands, we have so much that we give every day. I would just being okay with speaking up and saying that I'm not good here, and sharing why you're not good. And being okay with the response from the other person. Just loving yourself, like loving on yourself and saying, girl, like you're gonna make it. This is a moment. Keep going, keep walking, keep loving, keep sharing, keep shedding, keep healing, all those things, because I'd like to say that there is an end of the journey, but I think we'll be on this journey for our span of, the span of our lives. And so don't stop, keep becoming.
That's strong. That's well said.
Yeah. And loving me, he has the sweetest touch. It's just like, I want to be there for you, daughter. Like, what do you need? How can I help you? Type of approach that he has with me. It's just so amazing that I have it. I don't know. I can't go back, before that, or anything like that. But it's just, I'm so grateful, like amazed at his hand on my life for all of those years.
Yeah.
And all of the things that I went through, and all of the things I missed, in having a father to be there to teach and learn and show you how to love and show you how to trust, you know, I learned that from my Heavenly Father. I don't know. It's just it's amazing. It's been an amazing journey, and I just want to keep going. And I know that where we are in this moment, you and I together, face to face, you know, across from each other, that we were created for just this thing. And so he's going to do great things, you know, and I'm excited.
I am definitely looking forward to it. We have an amazing story coming up, and we hope you guys stick with us.
Yeah.
So we're doing with our life what we believe God would have us to do with it. If it was interesting to you, please share it with someone.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If there are particular things that have been said that you are more curious about, either her life or my life, and you have questions, please send those questions to M2M, M2M marriage, or M2M Newlywed podcast at gmail.com. Again, that's M2M
Newlywed Marriage Podcast.
No, Newlywed.
Sorry, we're messing it up.
This is new, y'all, okay?
Yes.
M2M Newlywed Podcast at gmail.com. And
Can they leave comments?
yeah, please. Yeah, please. Yeah, leave comments on the links. You can leave your questions in there if you want to. If you want to leave your questions in emails, we'll keep you anonymous. We ain't going to tell all your business. We're just going to tell all of ours.
Yeah.
So we appreciate y'all's support. Anything else?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all. Please meet us back here for chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
All right.
See you next time.
Moment is a blessing spent.